Welcome all of you, the viewers of Poland Daily Culture. My name is Maria Kądzielska-Koper, and we are today going to talk about technology and a new technology, Polish technology, which becomes popular all over the world. With me is Jakub Żurawiński, the co-founder of Bitfold. Jakub, thank you very much for calling us.
Thank you so much for having me.
And I know you are a Polish company and you're changing this cultural environment in technology all over the world. And so let's start with the first topic. What is a Web 3.0 and how it's going to revolutionize the internet?
Sure. So the term itself actually was coined by one of the founders of the big blockchain project in 2014. And it basically refers to the new decentralized system that at its foundation provides more transparency and more security to all the participants of the network. And to keep it more simple, Web 1 was basically an era where, as user, we were only able to actually read, so actually to consume the content. In Web 2 era, which was based on mobile devices such as phones, we became the content creators. So we could not only read, but also create and contribute to the content creation, as we see, for example, in social media. And Web 3 adds another element to it. And this element is the ownership rights, meaning anyone can actually start owning part of the internet or part of the digital assets living on the blockchain-based systems.
So, what challenges do we face in it in this revolution, and where does your company place itself in this web?
Sure. So basically, with the ownership rights, we also face a lot of challenges. And this challenge is that whenever we own something, we really need to make sure that it's being kept securely. So this is one of the biggest challenges in this whole industry and in the Web3 world itself, because all the assets that are nowadays possible to be kept by individual users, they are protected by cryptographic keys. But those cryptographic keys are the weak element, are the, I would say, spot where actually the hackers can prove themselves. And a lot of losses in crypto market and in general in digital space market happens because of the loss of those cryptographic keys. And there are various ways to actually protect them, but today's solutions such as phones or laptops are basically not meant to be extremely secure devices because they are general purpose devices. So they have got multiple vectors of attacks. We open and browse the internet with them. We chat with our friends. We use them for uploading the content, etc. So they become like a hubs of a lot of intersections and a lot of interactions, not only with trusted players, but also with some malicious actors in the space. So this is exactly what we are trying to protect. So the private keys that actually allow you to interact with your digital assets, and that has to be kept securely. So what we at Bitfold are doing in this regard is we're building a dedicated specific purpose device that's going to be extremely secure and thus protect the digital assets on a very different level to general purpose devices such as phone or laptops.
Is it more as your target of this solution? Do you target more individual clients, or you mean the companies who, for example, have and own important assets on the internet and sort of have to hide the passwords and the keys to whatever they're using?
So we are going to target actually those both groups. In terms of the individuals and institutional players, they already engaged in Web3 space or crypto space, they already face those challenges. But we expect billions of dollars in a tokenized real-world assets, such as homes, debt, etc., living on the blockchain. Therefore, basically, every company in the world, every individual in the world will have their credentials, rights in digital space.
Is security on internet a complex thing, or can it be provided some in more a simple way? And this is the moment when Bitfold comes to the market. What is the answer to those questions?
So normally, higher the security level is associated with more complex and more complicated systems. So let's give an example of electronic signatures, electronic qualified signatures. So whenever we are dealing with electronic signatures, we usually use three elements to it: our laptop, a cable, and the USB stick that actually contains our private keys or cryptographic keys associated with our electronic signature. So this is kind of a setup that we live by and that we use in order to make sure that our keys sitting on this USB stick or a similar device are actually separate from our online device, which is a laptop. And I think most of the secure systems actually contain of those three elements. So there's one thing that is connected to the internet, then there is some communication technology, and then we've got the third element, which is basically a hardware element that keeps the private keys or cryptographic keys offline. And this is where we come in with Bitfold, because what we've been able to do is to patent a cybersecurity technology basically all over the world that makes sure that within one single mobile device, the size of a phone, we make sure that the private keys are sitting in part of the device that's never ever connected to external communication, and at the same time we've got different part of the device that's acting as a proxy to actually broadcast the transaction. So it's working as our smartphone or laptop to enable for transactions to actually go through.
So just to summarize what you just said, when we have the Bitfold device, it is different than a phone in this way that a part of this device doesn't connect with the internet or doesn't connect with other devices. So it's secure, and this is the part where we keep our password or other digital keys in it. But the other part of the device, actually, it can be used in the same way as we use our phones to go with the payment, to go with transactions. So
exactly, and we separate them by the module that is between those two elements to make sure that they never interact with each other directly. Exactly.
So our data cannot be stolen. Well, so it's a wonderful mixture of those two things. So security and this using it. So those marriage of two elements, which is so important, especially when you travel and especially when you're doing big transactions, that is necessary. Well, a wonderful thing. Thank you for sharing this with us. And I do hope that you develop very quickly with it, and this Polish resolution and way of doing creating it will maybe become an alternative to phones and someday, or just another device which we'll hold and have. Thank you for this, showing it, and we keep the fingers crossed for the development. And I do hope you, the viewers of Poland Daily Culture, if you're especially interested in the security and internet, and you're looking for it, then definitely should check out what Bitfold is doing, because it might answer to your needs. And thank you for watching our show.